Hi everyone, in today's video I am showing you my monster cookies. These are so much fun. They are giant, thick, fat chocolate chip cookies and it's coming right up. Hi everyone, I'm Amy. Welcome back. Today we are making these really fun, I call them monster cookies. They are huge, they are thick and fat, and they're kind of like a Levain copycat, but not really. Anyway, they're just so much fun. So let's get started on these. My kids loved these when I made them the other day. First thing you're gonna want, and this is key, you want 1 cup of cold butter. I'm using unsalted butter because I'm going to put some sea salt on the top. And you're going to want to, because it's cold, you're gonna wanna cube it up, or it's gonna take forever to incorporate with your sugar. But you want the butter cold. It'll just keep your cookies from spreading out really flat. With these, we are going for big, thick, tall, fat cookies. So much fun. So that's gonna be 226 grams. I do list the written recipe in both cups and grams in the description box below all of my YouTube videos. Okay, so I've got that cubed up. Then I'm going to add 3/4 of a cup of packed brown sugar. And in here, I've already measured out 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. And I'm going to cream this together. It takes a minute because that butter is really cold, but I'm just gonna mix this together until it's nice and creamed and combined. Okay, you will know it's done because it comes all together and just forms one like clump of dough. Now we're gonna add 2 eggs. It's also important that these are cold. So pull them straight from the fridge. 2 eggs, and then a teaspoon of vanilla. I always eyeball my vanilla. And then mix that up. Okay, now for the dry ingredients. So we're going to use a total of 3.5 cups of all-purpose flour, but I'm gonna start with 2 cups first. So I'm just gonna fluff my flour and then spoon it into my measuring cup. That is 1 cup. 2 cups. Let's start there, and then I'm going to put in 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And 1 teaspoon of salt. A 1/4 of a teaspoon of baking powder. And 1/2 teaspoon of cornstarch. Cornstarch is gonna keep it kind of nice and fluffy and fat and soft. Lots of different things. Okay, so I'm gonna mix this up just until it's barely combined. And then I'm gonna add the other 1.5 cups of the flour. You don't want to over mix these cookies. Now let's get this combined. Kind of pulse it in the beginning so the flour doesn't go flying. There we go. Okay, it's just barely come together. At this point, what I'm going to do is, there's a little bit of flour on the bottom. I just want to make sure it's all incorporated. So I'm going to get a spoon and I'm just going to Just kind of hand mix it. Just get all that flour and everything off the bottom. Uh-oh. That happens sometimes. Okay. And then my secret ingredient that I add to most of my cookies, all my chocolate chip cookies, I'm gonna add about 1.5 teaspoons to 2 teaspoons of milk. Yes, perfect. At this point, again, don't overmix. We are going to add our chocolate chips. I'm only going to add about a cup this time. I'll usually add more to my regular chocolate chip cookies, but I love to add M&Ms just for a colorful addition. It's a really fun twist for these monster cookies. You can do the regular plain M&Ms, or I have the mini M&Ms here. And I'm gonna add about a cup of those. I'm just gonna kind of pulse it. And then I'm gonna finish by hand stirring it. There we go. Can never get those bowls off. Just until it's all fully incorporated. Okay, we're ready to put these on the cookie sheet, and I have preheated my oven to 400 degrees. These cook at a higher temperature. Get my parchment on my, you can use cooking spray or you can use a Silpat, it doesn't really matter. Now I want big, they're called monster cookies for a reason. So make sure your hands are clean. I want big cookies. Yeah. Whoops, M&M went flying. I'm just gonna kind of roll it. Place it, I'm gonna flatten it down just a little bit with my palm. So depending on how big you want your cookies, you'll get about, I would say 12 to 18 large cookies out of this batch. And I only am putting 6 on a cookie sheet. They don't spread like a lot, but I just don't want them to touch. It just drives me nuts. I can't stand when that happens, because then they're not pretty anymore. Okay, these will go in the oven for about 10 to 13 minutes, just depending on your oven and the size of the cookies. You'll need longer if they're bigger, shorter time if they're smaller. For this next one, I think I'm going to just finish out the dough, doing slightly smaller cookies. So I'll probably 8 on this. All right, how about these monster cookies, right? Those look, let me find some of those big ones. I put those on the bottom. Doesn't that look so good? They're so like still thick and fat and fluffy and just so good. And guess what? I let these cool all the way down because y'all know I don't like warm desserts, so that I could finish this video with a not hot cookie. And yeah, that hits the spot. Chocolate chip, M&Ms, so good, glass of milk. Your kids come home from school, it's the perfect treat after school. All right, so try this out. Let me know what you think. And if you wanna see more recipes just like this, subscribe to my channel and I'll see you next time. So good.